Okay. Hello everyone. Sorry, I set up the camera. This is my place of residence, and I'm here to talk about the Andrea Lunsford essay that is titled RSMA Literate Youth Not So Fast. So in response to this essay, because I found it really interesting, I actually created my own survey, and I posted the survey on Facebook where I had over 21 responses, and it was an age group between 17 and 50 plus. And I'm not going to say that it was the most efficient survey, or it's probably full of errors, but anyway, I simply wrote 2 sentences, and I asked these people where they think they would see these sentences. So the first sentence was, OMG, FML, last night was crazy, and I'm making up for it this morning. Thank you, Rachel, for driving my drunk ass home. And everybody said that that was a statement that would be used on some type of social network. Majority of them said Facebook. Second sentence was, to say that the character represented a misogynistic view is to assume that the women characters were offended. Everyone said that they would find that. And, I mean, they had various texts, but various answers, but the main answers were they would find it in a textbook or some form of feminist pamphlet, but they were able to recognize that it was different. And so from that difference, it leads me to assume and believe that if people can recognize the difference between social networking and something that's textbook worthy, then if they were given an assignment to write, they would understand the difference. Which leads me to what Lunsford opens with about technology in our generation. And there's a lot of speculation that Facebook and Twittering is really narcissistic, which kind of it is, and that it's basically making our generation dumber. But she's proving against that. She has over 30 years of research, 15,000 essays that incorporate 11 languages, and she's come to discover, and I quote, that these students are writing a lot, both in class and out. Though they were not interested in committing to writing out of class, though they were most interested and committed to writing out of class, which she calls life writing, than they were in their school assignments. Second, they were increasingly aware of those to whom they were writing and adjusted their writing styles to suit the occasion and the audience. Third, they wanted their writing to count for something. As they said to us over and over, good writing is performative. It makes something happen in the world. So obviously, this technology that's being forced upon us isn't as bad as we think. And I think we really need to find a way to capitalize on that and to try and harness that energy. As an example, that has just come, not too long ago, that happened in Egypt. The revolt that happened there. I'm not saying that it was completely Facebook's fault, but the fact that they could interact with each other through Facebook led to this uprising. That's powerful. That's something that doesn't usually happen. She also quotes from this text by Henry Jenkins, and he states, and from his book, Confronting the Challenges of Participatory Culture and Media Education for the 21st Century, he says, we are moving away from a world in which some produce and many consume media toward one in which everyone has a more active stake in the culture that is produced. And I think that's really happening. And she also, Lunsford, kind of takes a hit on teachers and says that it may not be the children's fault, that us as educators need to embrace this culture just as these kids are and try and figure out a connection between the two. And honestly, I just think we need to have more faith in the students that are reading this stuff. Obviously, they have something to say. And if we can learn how to mold that and morph that in the classroom, then I think we'd all be better off. So that was just my little spew on that. Thanks for listening.